Okay, lesson 2, you ready? Combining like terms. So we're going to add to our evaluation skills, right? We've learned how to do substitution. Now we're just going to quickly review combining like terms so we can make our equations a little bit prettier and we understand how mathematicians are going from one step to the other. Okay. So the first thing we do, like last time, is a little vocab review. To understand like terms, you got to know what a term is. So a term is a single mathematical expression. It can be a single number or a variable, or it can be a mix of both. So what that means is it could be 3. 3 is a term. 3x is a term. 3ab squared is a term. Okay? But when I say 3 plus x, that's no longer one term. That's 2 terms because you put the plus or the minus sign between them. Like terms are 2 or more terms with the same variable and the same exponent. So it has to have, if one has an x, the other one has to have an x. If one has an exponent of 2, the other one has to have an exponent of 2. And let's go over some examples. Okay? So which two are like terms? I've got negative 2x and 5x squared. Those are not like. They have the same variable, but they do not have the same exponent, so I cannot say that they're like. I have negative 2x and 17xy. Well, they both have an x, but they both don't have a y. So they have the same exponent, right? There's a ninja number 1 at the top, but they don't have the same variable, so it can't be that one. Negative 2x and 289x. They both have the same variable, and they both have the same exponent, so I wonder if that's the right one. And then 12. 12 doesn't go with anything. There's no exponent on it, so it doesn't match anything in the line. So let's see what it was. Negative 2x and 289x, because they both have the same variable, raised to the same exponent. That there's no number there, so it's the ninja number 1, right? 1 sneaks in. Mathematicians are too lazy to write that down. So let's see if these are like terms, and then we're going to say why or why not. 15x and negative 15x squared. Well, the 15 and negative 15, that doesn't count. It's the variable and the exponent. My variables are the same, but my exponents are different, so it's a no. The same variable, different exponents. Okay. Next one is 12xy and 12yx. Xy and yx. Same variables, x and y, same exponents, right? 1 and 1. So it's yes. Doesn't matter what the order is because of the commutative property, right? X times y is the same as y times x. You can flip your order. But your variables are the same and the exponents are the same, so they are like. Next one's no. 4 doesn't even have a variable. They're different variables. Okay? If there was an x with the 4, then we could say they were like terms. Or if there was no x with the 3, we could say they were like terms. The last one is yes. Remember, the coefficient doesn't matter. So I have a negative 3 on the first term, and I have a 1, that ninja number 1, on the second term. That doesn't matter. It's the variables. I have an x and an x. I have a y and a y, so the variables are the same. And then I also have the squared on the y, so my exponents are the same. X to the first, y to the second. X to the first, y to the second. Same variable and same exponent. Okay, so that's how you tell if they're like terms. Now, if they are like terms, we can actually combine them. So this is what we're going to do. Okay, I had to change screens, and now I'm on Smartboard because I want to use a colored pencil. So what we're going to do is combine like terms, and you're going to use a colored pencil to do this. What I mean is, let's see here, let's see if I can pull it up. So I'm going to use a highlighter. So I'm looking here, and I've got 39x. So let me look for another one that has an x. There's a y, there's a z. Oh, here's another x. And I'm going to include the operator in front. Okay? And then there's negative 3y. So I want all my x terms. So my x terms go together. Okay? Yeah, maybe. Then I'm going to look here. And I've got 12y. So I'm going to include my, hold on, let me include this with it. There we go. So I have 12y. That's a z, not the same. But this is also the same because that has a y. See how my y and my y are the same? And then my last one is just by itself, but I'm going to highlight it anyway. And then I have this. Okay? So now what I can do is I can go back and I can actually, hold on, sorry. Now I can combine my like terms. So I'm going to combine anything that's highlighted in yellow. So I have 39x and I have 2x's. So that's like saying I have 39 xylophones and 2 xylophones. So what's 39 plus 2? Oh, it's 41x, right? So I've used these up. I like to cross them off when I'm done, but that's because I have visual processing issues and I will get confused later. That's why I use the colors, and that's why I cross it off. That's my way of checking to make sure I got everything. And then here I've got 12y in green, and I have -3y in green. So now I've got 12 yo-yos minus 3 yo-yos. Well, 12 minus 3, that's going to give me 9 yo-yos. Whoops, and that's plus, right? Because it's a positive number. And I'm going to cross these off because I used them up. And now I'm left with -18z, and there's nothing I can do with that. Okay. Now I'm looking at this, and I have an x, I have a y, and I have a z. Are any of those like terms? No, I can't combine it anymore. That's as pretty as I can make it. Okay? So now let's do the same thing, whoops, with the bottom down here, this bottom problem. So I'm going to go to my highlighter. Okay, sorry, someone knocked at the door. So I have my 12, I'm going to highlight that. So I'm going to highlight anything that doesn't have a variable on it. -3, oh, and -9. Okay, and now I'm going to go back. I'm going to get my other highlighter color. Let's do purple this time. And I'm going to do, I have an X here, and I include the operator in front. And really, that's like, remember my ninja number. So personally, I even like to write down, whoops, not a highlighter, you bozo. Hold on a second. There we go. I like to write down that there's a 1 right there so I don't forget later. Okay, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to take all my highlighted colors. So I have a 12 minus 3, that would be 9, minus 9, oh, that would be 0. So these actually all cancel out to be 0, right? 12 minus 3 is 9, 9 minus 9 is 0. So I'm going to write that down just so I don't forget. And then I have a -1x plus 2x. So it's -1 plus 2. Put it into Desmos if you need to. I'm doing it in my head, but I highly recommend that you check my math work. I think this one I got is 1x. So we're going to write this as a mathematician would, not as a non-math person. So this is technically correct, 0 plus 1x, but really I would write that as x. So I simplified, look at this, I took this horrible, ugly equation and I turned it into one term, x. Okay? Nice, right? All right, guys, so now what you're going to do is you're going to do your practice. It is on Schoology, okay? Get your practice done, submit it, and then go and do your mastery check. Okay? Thanks, guys.